I'm your host, Doc Bob Lee, and you're watching Open. It's that live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. You can stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Leading things off, our first guest is spokesman for the Jehovah's Witnesses, and he joins us to share some insight on how Bronx residents can manage their money during times of financial crisis. So please welcome to the show, Lyndon Byam. Welcome.
Thanks.
How are you?
Glad to have you.
All right.
Appreciate the invitation.
Show me the money. People always want to know about the money. That's a big attention getter. First of all, give us a little background on you.
I'm a Bronxite.
Mm-hmm.
I've moved here about 41 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Columbus High School. In fact, my graduate was held right at Lehman. So my first time back on the campus since then. So it's nice to be back home.
All right.
Yeah.
Welcome home.
Thanks so much. Yeah.
So you got into the financial business. How did you climb into this?
Actually, as Jehovah's Witnesses, we have to maintain a lifestyle. We have to live.
Yeah.
So my background is a little bit in finance, but major concern, of course, is our ministry, is our focus. We are doctors, lawyers. We're the banker.
Mm-hmm.
We're also the baker.
Yeah.
On the corner. Yes.
What does it say in the Bible? Does anything in the Bible there about money management?
It actually does. It's interesting that over 3,000 years ago, one of the wealthiest and wisest rulers said these words. He says, wisdom is a protection, just as money is a protection. But the advantage of knowledge is this: wisdom preserves a life its owner. So even he highlighted the fact a person can be wise, can be wealthy, but still be foolish. Yeah. There's an adage that says that, the fool and his money soon depart. But the Bible has always documented principles and guidance to help us to really use money wisely. In fact, one of the pithy sayings in that by this same writer was the fact that it says money can have wings and can fly. So an eagle,
it can fly into your pocket and out of
it flies even faster, because an eagle is known to be swift at most 80 miles per hour.
Yeah.
So use the term of an eagle as reference to how quickly what we seemingly have can evaporate overnight. From financial upheavals, you have situations with government decisions that are made, the markets can go up and down. So it does give some really good guidance to help families to cope and to thrive even in this environment here in the Bronx.
But with the high cost of living, how do we make ends meet?
It's all about recognizing that we have to live, so we have to work.
Yeah.
But at the same time is how to use our resources wisely. For many of us, we're bombarded daily with getting things that we don't really need. And it's okay. We enjoy nice things. But then how do we balance that as regards to necessities for the family?
Yeah.
So one adage which was stated is this: it says, even when a person has an abundance, his life does not result from the things he possesses. So it's not how much you have, because many people have lots of things. So that perspective allows a person to really see the focus of what's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Family is very important. And so if the family thrives and the family stays as a cohesive unit, then of course, the less of financial burdens can be had in the family.
How has the Jehovah Witnesses assist those who have experienced economic downturns or have fallen on hard times?
Our mindset is always to assist each other and our neighbors. How can we be of help to our neighbors? This philanthropic mindset is not something that is new. It goes all the way back to ancient times. In fact, in 1900 years ago, Jesus said these words. He says, practice giving. So that's part of who our mindset is.
Yeah.
It's not about having a big organization which is set up with administrative fees or whatever. Instead, what it is all donations that are given through our website. You can do that. Donate.jw.org is one way. And then even our place of meetings, our kingdom halls, where we have a small box where that can be done. We offer free services to our members and to the congregants. And as well as, interestingly, we have made provisions in some communities where there's need be. We tap into resources that are there through the government agencies, through not-for-profits. Our aim is to help those who are part of the congregation to actually thrive, but also survive whether through a downturn. I give an example of that that we had recently with the pandemic.
Sure.
I mean, we had put together a whole means of feeding many. So we don't have a food pantry, but what we did was we, through donations that I had, we were able to accumulate them. We could feed tens of thousands of those who were on the congregation.
Yeah.
Even the neighbors as well. We helped with that.
And, that time has come again, Thanksgiving, people are hungry, people in the country from other places. And
our aim is all to provide,
yeah,
not just limited to a specific time, but to constantly make sure that everyone is, and this is a monthly we check to see how everyone is doing to make sure they're all taken care of.
Beautiful. How can an ancient book like the Bible help with money problems and debt?
It's interesting because when people think of the Bible, they think it's a book that's far outside their realm. But here's a good example of how it guides us in this era to manage our funds.
Yeah.
It said this, that if a person wanted to build a tower, you have to first sit down and calculate the cost. What's it going to cost to put this together? And here Jesus made this statement. He says, first you sit down and calculate, can I do this? And then he says, otherwise, if you don't, you look a fool to your neighbors. They'll say, what happened? You couldn't finish the building he's putting together.
Yeah.
Similarly with us, it's about teaching how to use our resources. And especially in areas where people may not have the highest education, how it is they can be trained as a family to set budgets in place, how it is they can utilize the resources of individuals, even within the congregation, to help them to make sure that they're not going outside of the realm. Another thing we focus on is how to, the practical advice, how to build budgets, how to use the funds they have at hand, and more important, take care of their families.
Yeah, because somebody can be making $40,000 a year and somebody else can be making $100,000 a year. But whoever manages that money wisely will come out on top. The guy who's making, or the person making $40,000 a year can come out on top if it's managed properly.
Some billionaires go bankrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do people get more involved in what you're doing so that we can learn more about financial stability?
Through our website, we do offer access to a lot of information. There's a link if you go to jerry.org, and if you go to About Us, then there is a link dealing with family. It also deals with life, and it shows what finance.
Yeah.
And we have all these segments. The question you've asked is detailed, each of them with principles that can be used. The most important thing is it touches on things that are real life that applies to us, even here in the Bronx.
Now the holidays are here.
Mm-hmm.
People don't want to be like slighted by, you don't have enough money to buy something for family members or people that you love. So they have something like a little plastic credit card. And they go out and they use this credit card all over the place. But wait, what happens after that? It has to be paid off.
Yeah.
How do you manage that? How do you get around that?
One of the things is about contentment. Unfortunately, we live in a world where we're bombarded, where we're told we need to have everything. And so one of the principles, let's say 3,000 years ago, it made a reference to something that's interesting and it helps us to avoid this debt issue. It says, don't wear yourself out to gain wealth. Stop and show understanding. And he says, when you cast your eyes on it, it's not there.
Yeah. And
so sometimes we have to focus on the fact that if we get ourselves into this position, it affects the family. So that's why we have to pull back and analyze kind of before this. Is this something that is within the realm of the family's resources?
Yeah.
We found that has helped quite a bit of our families. And especially since the family unit is very important to be kept together.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if it falls apart, and financial issues can cause family strain. So how can we keep the family from falling apart due to...
Yeah, and you have to weigh the difference because it feels good knowing that you're helping people in your family to be happy for the holidays. But then after the holidays, you got to pay it back.
Yeah, gift giving is always something wonderful.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the thing is we don't want to go beyond what we don't have or means.
Right.
And so how do we rein it back in?
So it's all about leveraging.
It's guidance of how to have a mindset.
Yeah.
Allows us to really utilize our resources, our monies that we have. Although it may be limited, but still we should remember number one thing is always to be willing to share with others. Yeah. I'm going to share with you quickly that as an organization, our aim is always to help individuals.
Yes.
And sometimes we think it's a lot, but even small deeds mean much more
Yes.
than a big box.
Take baby steps.
Yeah.
That'll lead to where you need to go. Did we miss anything?
Well, there's one thing I thought about was that, we have what is called, it was time to 950 disaster relief committees. Our aim is in event of disasters, how can we help individuals? And there's one in the Bronx. And it's global.
Yeah.
It's all volunteers. It's all done by individuals who are skilled. We have a lot of skilled personnel who volunteer their time, and some who are untrained. And they're trained unskilled, trained how to help along with this.
Yeah.
Like when Hurricane Ida came, for example, or Sandy, we actually going to rebuild homes. We pull our resources to do that. And there's no administrative costs because we're all volunteers. So all the funds that are given are utilized for that purpose. Or like in Africa, where we helped out and set up Wi-Fi stations so even communities can benefit with Wi-Fi. So there are different ways in which we've done this to facilitate locally, even here in the Bronx, to benefit everyone.
Beautiful. Where do we go for more information? Because, you're a wealth of information, but we need more.
JW.org.
JW.org.
It has everything you could find. It has links, go about us, news that really facilitates these details. And it's how localized it is. That it's not just a global, but even down locally here into the Bronx. It benefits us.
There you go. Lyndon Byam, spokesperson, Jehovah's Witness.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks.
All right. We'll take a quick break. I've got more open. It's coming your way next.